they totally don't believe what we're taught about what's above us. So when people say space is fake,
what about the sun?
They mean all the stuff, information we're getting. You're lying about that shit. That it's not that it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. We see it.
Right, of course.
But space is fake sounds ridiculous. Like there's
something
we're
up
looking
there.
at it and it's fake. That's ridiculous. That's
just
not what
the
it means. It
Truman
means
Show.
that all the information we got about all those
off.
lights in the sky.
Yeah, something else.
They're lying
NASA's
to
lying?
us. They're lying to us.
Why would NASA lie?
And there's a reason, and
why
I can sit
wouldn't
here
they,
and tell you,
Brian?
but you guys don't want to hear it.
Hold on.
Wouldn't they?
So I don't want to talk
Can you give
about
us the Cliff Notes?
it. The Cliff Notes are man.
Have you studied any kind of a...
He doesn't need to
from-
be. Let's hear just a few of it.
The goal has always been for the most powerful emperors is a one world government. They always wanted a one world government. All the Roman emperors, they try to figure out, they try to do different combinations. How about and they would fall, and a new emperor would come and go, you know what? I'm gonna fucking rule
World
the world
domination, in other words.
Aztecs.
I'm not gonna let my soldiers get married. That way we'll have a stronger army. They have different philosophies. Everyone believed different shit. But they all wanted a one world government. There's no way to have a fucking one world government. Nobody's into that shit.
Right.
Not even other rulers from small countries are like, one world government, that's gonna put me out of a job. Fuck your one world government. People that don't know shit about politics don't want a one world government. There's no way you're gonna sell a one world government. It's impossible. The only way to make a one world government work is to have the people embrace it. They have to want it because nobody wants it. So the trick.
Is
Everybody that
I've
believes
got to
the flat-
think this is not
everybody-
very organized.
No, what I'm saying is
I got to think I
everybody that
couldn't have it
thinks-
all wrong.
No,
There's
everybody,
no way.
anybody that thinks the earth is flat, they totally don't believe what we're taught about what's above us. So when
the
people
sun?
say space
Wait a
is
minute.
fake, they
What about the
mean-
sun?
They mean all the stuff, information we're getting, you're lying about that shit. That it's not that it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. We see
Right,
it.
of course.
But space is fake sounds ridiculous. Like there's
something
we're
up
looking
there.
at it and it's fake. That's ridiculous. That's
just
not what
the
it means. It
Truman
means
Show.
that all the information we got about all
We're
those
off.
lights in the sky.
Yeah, something
They're
else.
They're lying
NASA's
to
lying?
us. They're lying to us.
Why would NASA lie?
And there's a reason, and
why
I can sit
wouldn't
here
they,
and tell you,
Brian?
but you guys don't want to hear it.
Hold on.
Wouldn't they?
So I don't want to talk
Can you
about
give
it.
us the Cliff Notes?
The Cliff Notes are man.
Have you studied any kind of a...
He doesn't need to
from-
be. Let's hear just a few of it.
The goal has always been for the most powerful emperors is a one world government. They always wanted a one world government. All the Roman emperors, they try to figure out, they try to do different combinations. How about and they would fall, and a new emperor would come and go, you know what? I'm gonna fucking rule
World
the world
domination, in other words.
Aztecs.
I'm not gonna let my soldiers get married. That way we'll have a stronger army. They have different philosophies. Everyone believed different shit. But they all wanted a one world government. There's no way to have a fucking one world government. Nobody's into that shit.
Right.
Not even other rulers from small countries are like, one world government, that's gonna put me out of a job. Fuck your one world government. People that don't know shit about politics don't want a one world government. There's no way you're gonna sell a one world government. It's impossible. The only way to make a one world government work is to have the people embrace it. They have to want it because nobody wants it. So the trick is to make people want it, to embrace it. There's only one way.
I gotta pee.
There's only
Hold
one
on,
way.
Joe, this is very
You're gonna
important.
miss
I've
out
heard
on
this. I know this. I know this.
Okay, I don't know.
The only way, and they've known this forever. The Vatican knew this. The Vatican, the Pope wanted to rule the world. They all knew it, but they couldn't do it. They all knew it, but they knew one way, but there's no way how they're
What's
going to
the
pull it
one
off.
way, man?
The only way is if there was some extraterrestrial threat from up above us. That would be the only way to have everyone embrace the one world government. They all knew that for years.
But they didn't work
That's
so far.
the plan. They could never
It's a
make
shitty
it
plan,
work.
though.
They didn't have the technology 500 years ago. The Vatican knew about it. They wanted it. And you go to the Vatican, you see paintings of like
Have you been there?
UFOs with aliens in them. And back when I used to believe in UFOs, but before I figured out that UFOs they want us to believe in UFOs because they're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace it. And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times at the UN, CFR. He talked about it because wouldn't it make, he looked at all the leaders of the nation, of the world, and said, wouldn't it make our lives easier if we just had some kind of extraterrestrial threat? He said that shit. He said that in front of the UN. Like he's trying to get everybody into
I don't think he ever said that,
believing.
but-
No, he said that many times. It's on video many times.
Ronald Reagan?
And Ronald
Ever
Reagan.
heard of him,
and
Brian?
while-
Ever heard
I've
of him?
listened to
George
a lot of his
Bush
speeches.
was vice president.
Right.
He was talking about, and there's many videos of him saying, what lies before us. He's in front of the nation doing a State of the Union address, saying what lies before us is the opportunity to forge a new world order, an order. Because he's talking about like
Do you think that means the space is fake?
Yes.
No. When people ask me why would they fake space, it's always been about a fake alien attack. You can't have a fake alien attack.
I've never heard a politician ever talk
You can't
about
have a fake alien attack
though.
without space.
But I've never heard a politician
You
talk
have to have
about
space first. So they.
Can we and all nations not live in peace? In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps I ask you,
Russians.
But before the Nazis, you know who wanted
Cavemen.
space?
Aztecs.
No, the Vatican.
Mayans.
The Vatican. They have all the biggest, they have all the astronomers. They're all Jesuit Vaticans, all of them. All the ones that are giving us this information about space, they all come from the Vatican. The Vatican has the most
But the
powerful
Vatican said
telescope.
that the
You
Earth-
know what the name of the
Wait a
Vatican
minute, the
telescope
Vatican
is?
doesn't have the most powerful
Yes, they
telescope.
do. You know what its name is?
What
Stu?
is it
The
called?
most powerful telescope, the Vatican. And you know what name it is? I've
What?
done the research on YouTube.
on
I have the
YouTube.
links. You know what the name of this? Do you know
Isn't
what the
the biggest
name
one in
of
Chile?
this? The most powerful telescope in the world. It's in the Vatican.
What
Do
is
you know
it?
that
What's the-
Lucifer?
Lucifer's
What?
dick balls.
Lucifer?
Lucifer's dick and balls?
I've never seen this fucking telescope.
Yeah, it's legit, dude. I think the biggest one's in Chile. I think they have to be in high
It's in
altitude.
the Vatican.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the
No,
Vatican.
You guys didn't. So when people ask me why would they fake all this shit,
Well, I don't think that's the biggest telescope,
This
Eddie.
is just a crazy theory.
I'm a professor of astronomy at Stewart Observatory, and one of the proudest things we have here is Stewart Observatory Mirror Lab, where we make the mirrors for our own and other people's large telescopes. Roger Angel is the guru who's been doing this for over 30 years, working his way up from 1 meter to 8.5 meters, the largest mirrors ever made in the world, basically. The Vatican Observatory has a pivotal role in this because Roger Angel worked his way up and learned how to make mirrors, and theirs was one of the first mirrors he made when he really didn't know if this method would succeed, where you put in lumps of borosilicate and heat the oven to 1160 degrees and spin it so it forms a parabolic surface, and then cool it. It's very high risk, seat of the pants engineering, and the Vatican mirror for their telescope was one of the first successful substantial sized mirrors to come out of this.
Historically, this is where the casting has been happening for the last 20 years or so. The Vatican Observatory is 1.8 meter, that is to say 6-foot mirror, was cast in a different location. It was in fact cast in a building that doesn't exist anymore on campus, the defunct synagogue. So the saying goes that the Vatican uses a mirror cast by an angel in a synagogue. The first international project that astronomers worldwide decided to invest quite a lot of time and energy into was a photographic map of the sky. That project started around 1890, where 20 observatories around the world, including the Vatican Observatory, divided the sky into zones that were mapped by these observatories. The project lasted until the 1950s. Now, the mirror that's being polished right here is going to be the centerpiece of an instrument which will map the sky twice a week.
with a much larger resolution, much larger precision.
Doing science research is expensive. Instruments are expensive, the telescope costs money to maintain, and the Vatican Foundation is essential because there needs to be fundraising going on to enable this kind of unique activity.
The VAT was built and is maintained and developed thanks to the support of many friends and benefactors of the Vatican Observatory Foundation. Without their support, it would be very difficult to carry out our research.
There are so many ways for people to get involved in the Vatican Observatory Foundation. You don't need to be a scientist or an astrophysicist or even a Jesuit to appreciate the work that they do, and many of the videos are posted online at the Foundation website, which are easy interpretations for lay people of what the Jesuit scientists are doing.
The answer is in expanding your mind. Do you want to simply be satisfied living in the world that it is, that we know it today, or do you want to think out of the box?
I suspect anybody who's ever studied any science or any engineering has at one time or another wondered if they couldn't be doing astronomy. It's the first science you ever study. It's the easiest science to get into. But let's face it, there are a couple thousand professional astronomers out of 7 billion people in the world. The Vatican Observatory Foundation is a way that astronomy becomes not what they're doing, but what we're doing. It's a direct way that they can share in the fun, the excitement, and the wonder of the discoveries that we're making. They can get a front row seat to the stuff we're doing. They can interact with us. And they can become partners in what is ultimately the most exciting thing the human race is doing right now.
If we really do, let's just say we really do, like it says in the Bible and like ancient civilizations, that we live in a special place. It's motionless. It's a flat plane, and there's a firmament. Meaning there's a dome. That's what it says in the Bible. If that's true, and there is a creator, how are you going to get people to believe in a fake alien invasion? There's no way you're going to, because if that's true, there's no fucking infinite space. There's no infinite space. So they had to crush not only God or our creator, whatever it is, but they had to crush that model. And when you start looking at the history of it all, you're like, holy shit, it all makes sense. In order to have fake alien invasion, we need infinite space. We need evolution. They need their 1 million years, 1 billion years more advanced than us. So that's evolution. So the dinosaur thing, that's all evolution. Darwin, they were all Freemasons, Jesuits, all of those guys. They're all part of the same team. All the famous astronomers, the ones that are known throughout time, the real famous ones, they're all from the Vatican. The Vatican is pushing infinite space and aliens. They are, because the Vatican, as you know, they're not about Christ.
Yeah.
They're faking their enterprise. Yeah. They're faking it. Most of the space stuff that we get, we have to take their word for it.
Right.
We have to take their word for it. But if all the planets are round and all the stars are round, we must be round. Like, dude, you need to look at those lights in the sky through a telescope yourself. Most people aren't even looking through telescopes.
So what you're saying is like our interpretation of what the moon is and what that, not so much the moon, but the Jupiter and all these planets are basically based on what NASA has told us, but no one's actually tried to look at these things through a telescope to see.
Now, I didn't say no one. I said most people.
Most people.
And when you do look at those wandering stars, which were changed to planets, they're not what you. It's not those images that NASA gives you. They're lights in the sky. They're little, and it doesn't make any sense. Like for instance, try to understand this. This is the heliocentric model, right? Let's just say this is the sun, right? And we have all these planets going around the sun, right? Mercury is the one closest to the sun, and then Venus is going this way, and then Earth is the third rock from the sun, and then Mars. And then Saturn, right?
Yeah.
So imagine this. This is Earth, and then we got Mercury and Venus here.
Yes.
Right? It takes a year to go around the sun. Takes a year. Takes 6 months to get to this side. This is what they're telling us. This is what they're telling us, right?
Okay.
Right?
Right.
I'm not making this
I'm
up.
listening to you.
So as our planet is going around the sun, it's daytime on the part of Earth that's facing the sun. There's no way this side of Earth is nighttime when the sun is on the inside. Nighttime is always on the outside.
Right.
It's always on the
Right,
outside.
right.
So we're looking so if I'm right here,
Right.
we're looking at the nighttime,
Yeah.
and all the stars over here
Right.
on this side of the room.
Right. Right.
But on the other side of the sun, there's a bunch of other stars, right?
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You could only see, like if I could only see this side of the universe.
Okay.
Right? But when in 6 months, when I'm on this side, I could only see at night. It's only night when this side is facing out. So I only could see this side of the room. Does that make sense?
No. Well,
Right?
the only reason I have a problem with that is because what we see is this. We see the sun though. So we do see this way.
Constellation.
Listen. Here's the Earth on this side. It's only nighttime on this side.
Right.
Because the sun's over here. The sun is shining over here, so it's daytime
Right.
on the.
So it's
when it's
nighttime
daytime,
here. It's daytime in Australia. Right.
you're not following me.
Okay.
We're just talking about just us.
Okay.
Don't worry about Australia or nothing.
Okay.
It could be like that, but
Okay.
it could be. But
Okay.
so this side of the Earth is what, nighttime? Or
Yes.
daytime?
Yes. So yeah.
Is nighttime or daytime?
That's nighttime.
This side of the Earth is what?
Sun. Daytime.
Yeah, because the sun's on the
Right,
inside.
right.
So when it's daytime, we're facing
The sun.
according the sun.
Yes.
If this is true, right?
Okay.
All right. So we got all these stars over here that we're seeing at night.
All right.
6 months later, we're seeing all those stars, right?
Right.
And then 6 months later back, we're seeing all those stars, right? So there should be, every 3 months or 6 months, there should be a different set of stars.
Constellation, yeah, I was telling you.
We shouldn't
So-
see the same
yeah, 'cause you can
constellation.
see the same constellation at that time.
Why do we see the Big Dipper
Every night.
every night?
Oh.
It's real simple.
Okay.
The shit's wrong. And then check this out.
Aaron, thoughts on
And then
that?
no, check this out. Now check this out. Now,
Okay.
now
I
we have the
get- see,
now we
you
have the
left
same
that
thing.
part out.
Now you think about this. Now think about the planets now, right?
Okay.
Mercury's on its own little, according to what they say, Mercury is right here going on its own little orbit, and then Venus, and then Earth, and Saturn, or Mars, and Saturn, and Jupiter.
Blah, blah,
and
blah,
Uranus, right?
Pluto, yeah,
There's
yeah.
8 of them, right? So, at night, okay, let's just say it's day 1 here at night. What are the odds that we could see all the fucking planets? How can it's like on a rotation over here, like maybe Mars is over here, Jupiter's over there. Every night, we should not be able to see every fucking planet. They could be on the other side of the sun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yet you see Saturn, you could see it. How come Saturn isn't over here? And then when Earth comes around in 6 months and it's on this side, maybe Saturn's over there on the other side. So at least or around half the time at night, the other 7 planets should be behind the sun somewhere on its own orbit. How is it that we could see the Big Dipper every fucking night? We could see Polaris every fucking night?
In
It
the
doesn't make
same
any
spot too, right?
Dude, it goes on forever. Their whole model can easily be broken down. Allegedly, Dave would crush anybody. He's done many. You can go to YouTube.
He just went on a particle physicist.
Yeah.
It was him, and his name's allegedly Dave, and the other guy actually has an actual name.
Yeah. Well, his name is Dave Murphy, but that was his YouTube name for a
Yeah,
while.
don't play it.
No, I'm not playing it. I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
He absolutely destroys this part. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And he does it to everybody because he breaks them down. Because most of these scientists, even like Neil deGrasse Tyson, they're not doing any science. They're just memorizing science books and doing mathematics.
Well, that's a big part of our education system. Isn't necessarily that you're smart. You're just able to follow patterns.
Yeah,
and regurgitate
can you
information.
name, if you Google the distance of the sun from Earth, you're going to get 93 million miles an hour. Can you name one scientist and the experiment that he did and explain how someone figured it out? Nobody can, but yet everyone accepts it. Name two astrophysicists who figured out that the sun was 93 million miles away, and then tell me exactly how they did it. It's a fucking mystery. They're talking about like triangulating Venus, and when you look into it, there's some kind of laser pointer that NASA has that they built in 1961 that they could tell the distance from Earth to Venus, and they triangle. So, but only NASA has this laser beam, and that's how they. Dude, you go outside and look at the sun. That motherfucker's not 93 million miles away. Look at that shit. That shit's close. The sun is fucking close. It's about 3,000 miles away. It ain't 93 million miles away.
Man.
The sun and the moon is its own light source. It's not reflecting the sun. There's no doubt about that. The moon is its own luminary.
Do you know that there was a time in this where, there were civilizations that talked about the time when there was no moon?
I don't know about that.
That they say there was.
But
remember there was
the reason we're getting hit with this 2001 Space Odyssey, Star Wars, up your fucking ass, Star Trek,
Wars,
everything. The reason we're getting hit with that is for they need us to believe in infinite space before they launch the fake alien invasion. And now you know who Wernher von Braun is?
Yes.
Wernher von Braun was Hitler's right-hand man. He was his rocket scientist, and after World War II, the United States took about 1,200 Nazi scientists, including Operation Paperclip, including, people know this, but then they know this, and then they still just go along with it. They took all these Nazi scientists, and they took Wernher von Braun, and he fucking was the head of NASA. He's the head of NASA.
Yeah,
he
directed
directed all 6 moon missions. And when he died, he had cancer for about a couple years before he died. And when he got cancer, during the last 4 years of his life, he hired this woman, Dr. Carol Roslin, and she was his assistant, his prepared speeches for him for 4 years. And she said, and you could go on YouTube and hear her talk about this all the time. She said that he told her that they're going to they're creating enemies. They need to create enemies. There's going to be terrorists from the Middle East, and then there's going to be the threat of an asteroid. They need, according to Wernher von Braun,
like a crisis.
They need a crisis. They need a reason to start a Star Wars project, like a weaponized space. And Wernher von Braun told Dr. Carol Roslin, look that shit up. She'll tell you right out of her mouth. She said that he told her over and over again, the final threat is a fake alien invasion, and it's going to be a lie. He told her over and over for 4 years. Wouldn't get into detail. She said he would not explain or go into detail, but he made it really clear on his deathbed. He made it clear to the day he died, the final conflict is going to be a fake alien invasion. And, and it makes sense. They're just...
some people that were involved in the creation of NASA was Jack Parsons.
And what isn't he a Satanist?
A Satanist.
And what about
Walt Disney too?
Walt Disney and Wernher von Braun were
Nazis.
They were boys.
And
that's why you go to Disneyland, and it's Space Mountain, and Disneyland was big in pushing space and getting space into
everyone's head. Guess who else had something to do with it? L. Ron Hubbard. Nobody talks about that because L. Ron Hubbard was
science fiction writer,
best friends with Jack W. Parsons, and L. Ron Hubbard banging Jack's wife, and it just caused chaos.
And throw Anton LaVey in there, the founder of the Satanic Church.
Aleister Crowley, was
exactly.
a big friend of all
when
them.
You start putting all those characters together in the same fucking room,
I can't wait to hear
it.
Aaron.
Makes sense. It makes sense. That they are trying to. They're creating this infinite space, but it's all fake. It's not
crazy,
infinite.
Dude.
It's not infinite. We're not. I don't believe in infinite space. I used to. Shit, I was balls deep in all that. Me and Joe, we were balls deep in space documentaries. That was my favorite shit to watch. I TiVoed anything about space. Space, comedy, fighting. Space, comedy, fighting.
Those are fun things.
Oh, dude, space. I was trying to remember everything about a neutron star, super hypernova, put those lyrics in. I would write about that shit. I was balls deep in my 30s, dude. So I was fully into it. And most flat earthers, same thing. Balls deep into space, fucking just ate it all up. And when they first heard it, every flat earther, when they first hear about it, they get disgusted. Like I did. I thought I wanted to fucking punch dudes in the face. Like, get that shit out of here. With that CIA psyop, flat fucking Earth. Everyone, no one ever accepts flat Earth and goes, "Oh, well, that makes sense." That indoctrination is too deep. It's like religion. It really is. Space is religion. Space is
science. Is religion.
Space is Santa Claus. That's what that is. It's what it says in the Bible. That's what I believe it is. There's a firmament. And then check this out. When Wernher von Braun died, put up Wernher von Braun's tombstone.
Okay.
Dude, on his day, he was trying to tell people.
Try to
on his
spell
tombstone.
that one fucking.
Put tombstone. He has a Bible verse. He has a Bible verse. Look at that. Wernher von Braun. What does it say? Psalm 19:1?
19:1.
Watch, and then go read what that is. Now put up Psalm 19:1.
Oh, there it is at the bottom. Bam. Look at that.
What
does it mean?
Put that up. Now, what does it say? What is that song?
Okay.
This is coming from the dude who faked 6 moon missions. Look at that.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sueth.
The firmament.
The firmament
sueth his handiwork. Now the firmament, that's the dome. That's what separates the heavens from earth, or the waters from above and the waters from below. That's the firmament. That's the dome. That's when flat earthers believe in a dome. They're actually talking about the firmament.
Shut up, dude.
That was on Wernher von Braun's tombstone. Get the fuck out of here, right? Look at that.
Dude. Shut up.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. That's what Wernher von Braun put on his tombstone? Get the fuck out of here. That's a deathbed confessional right there. That's a death... The guy who faked 6 moon missions,
dude,
put that shit on his tombstone.
Oh my God.
At what point? When does, everyone
Google
has a...
what is a firmament?
Yeah.
Just Google
what is the firmament?
What is the firmament? Don't get rid of this page. Open another page. No, yeah, I want to keep that on there because that shit is weird. Go open that.
Come on, man.
Hey,
did you just find out about this?
I did.
At what point does the bullshit meter go off? At some point. Everybody got a bullshit meter.
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
At some point,
Eddie,
your bullshit
you
meter
and I
got to
agree
go
on
off.
Is everybody that I've got to think this is not very organized.
No, what I'm saying is
I got to think I couldn't have it all wrong.
No,
There's no way.
Anybody that thinks the Earth is flat, they totally don't believe what we're taught about what's above us. So when people say space is fake,
what about the sun?
They mean all the information we're getting. You're lying about that shit. That it's not that it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. We see it.
Right, of course.
But space is fake sounds ridiculous. Like there's
something
we're
up
looking
there.
at it and it's fake. That's ridiculous. That's
just
not what
the
it means. It
Truman
means
Show.
that all the information we got about all
We're
those
off.
lights in the sky.
Yeah, something else.
They're lying
NASA's
to
lying?
us. They're lying to us.
Why would NASA lie?
And there's a reason.
well,
and
why
I can sit
wouldn't
here
they,
and tell you,
Brian?
but you guys don't want to hear it.
Hold on.
So I don't want to talk
Can you give
about
us the cliff notes?
The cliff notes are man.
Have you studied any kind of a...
He doesn't need to be. Let's hear just a few of it.
The goal has always been for the most powerful emperors is a one world government. They always wanted a one world government. All the Roman emperors, they try to figure out, they try to do different combinations. How about and they would fall, and a new emperor would come and go, you know what? I'm gonna fucking rule
World
the world
domination, in other words.
Aztecs.
I'm not gonna let my soldiers get married. That way we'll have a stronger army. They have different philosophies. Everyone believed different shit. But they all wanted a one world government. There's no way to have a fucking one world government. Nobody's into that shit.
Right.
Not even other rulers from small countries are like, one world government? That's gonna put me out of a job. Fuck your one world government. People that don't know shit about politics don't want a one world government.
Sure.
There's no way you're gonna sell a one world government. It's impossible. The only way to make a one world government work is to have the people embrace it. They have to want it, because nobody